Welcome back to parent discussion, and we continue to do parenting spiritually. Things we're going to cover in this episode is the development of self. We're going to look at the practices that you can engage in as you develop yourself. We're going to look at the power of intention, and we're going to look at consciousness as soul because it has three phases. It's a phenomenon with three phases also. So that's what we're going to be looking at. Thank you for joining us. And we appreciate your comments. We appreciate the questions that we receive from you. And we are going to delve onto one particular question that came up. Where the parent is asking about how to parent spiritually. What do I say exactly to the child when I'm having a challenge? My response, which is what today's episode is about, is the how. Dear parent, I cannot tell you what to say to your child because you have a knowing. You have a soul knowing. And this process is going to help us remember this soul knowing. And as I said, we're going to look at your self-development. It starts with you developing those faculties in you, the soul part of you, the spirit part of you. For me, it feels like we recognize that one has to grow physically in order to parent. But we don't invite ourselves to grow at a soul level. We don't invite ourselves to grow spiritually in parenting. As it has been mentioned in the past episodes, we want to parent holistically. And for that to happen is that we develop this holistic part of ourselves. So what do I mean by self-development? We're developing this soul knowing, the knowing that we referred to in the past episodes where we're talking about knowing the stages of development. We know certain things that we expect to happen in a child, and we know that they come from an invisible world. So let's start by just remembering that you know this and these things are real. How do I know those things for sure? That is the start of developing yourself. That comes with practices. Like everything in life, you have to practice whatever it is that you want to be good at, want to be an expert at. So soul parenting, when we look at that which is invisible, the practice that I will recommend is, one of the practices I will recommend is reflecting. Taking a time in the day to reflect back and just think of your day, think of your children. Notice what is it that you saw today. You might have noticed that your child was doing some homework. Because you were too busy, you didn't actually look at what they were doing and how they were doing it. But you're in bed by now. Reflect on that. Because as you reflect, and you are ready to go to sleep, you are tapping into that dream space, that level of consciousness. You could easily send a message to your soul self to help you with your child while talking to the soul of your child. So that becomes a soul-to-soul engagement with your child. You don't even have to have a face-to-face conversation with your child. Other educators are taught this, are taught that as you retire at night, you can reflect on your day and think of your students. And you might just remember a student or a learner that had a problem and you didn't really solve it and you're conscious of it. As you retire, having thought of the name of this young person, you actually have called the soul of that person. You sleep, you forgot about the whole thing. You wake up the next morning, you're not even thinking about it. You do what you do. You are in class suddenly as a teacher, as usual, not suddenly. And you engage in the children, and you end up engaging this particular child differently, and you solve the problem that you might have had, or you see the shift in the struggle in that child. Not all teacher training teach that. But for those who do, they have seen benefits in reflecting, in this practice of reflecting and thinking about the day and reflecting on their fellow students or on their students. Imagine doing that as a parent. I'm a parent. I've noticed that I was in a rush. There were things that were happening, but I didn't really see what Tembi is doing. But I can take that to the dream world, to the invisible world, to the subconscious mind. I can take that and I might come out with a solution for my child. That is one example of getting to develop this faculty of soul. Meditation is another way. You start the practice of meditation. You are developing yourself. You are strengthening your own spiritual self, your own soul self. And when these faculties are developed, we parent with grace, we parent differently, we parent with love, because that's who we are as spirit beings. Another practice that you can have, and in our busy lives, if you're not going to do the reflection, you're not going to do the meditation, blessing your child as you retire, blessing your child as you fall asleep, or your children as you fall asleep. You are actually saying to the soul of your child, love is key. I think of you, I bless you. And at a soul level, we are one, we are connected. So you never know what the soul of that child will tell you in your dream, in your intuition, in your inspiration, in your insights. You might just have an idea of engaging with your child in a different way when we do these practices. I also mentioned the power of intention. Intending to parent differently, intending to parent spiritually. You are inviting yourself, you are inviting your higher self, if I may say so, that you are taking a new journey, you are taking a new way of being. And when you look at life in general, when you have an intention, we've seen results. So I invite you to bring yourself to that power of intention. And the thing is that all of this move us to the next part I want to talk about. Soul is referred in other spheres as consciousness, awareness. And the mind is linked to that awareness. And when you think of the mind, you think of the conscious mind, you think of the subconscious mind, you think of the superconscious mind. And we're going to delve into the subconscious mind for a little while in this process. And so much so that in the next episode, we'll be elaborating on certain things that we know that we practice on a daily basis that actually take us to another level of our own self-development, but also how we can support children as parents and parenting spiritually. I trust that this gives you food for thought. It gives you time to process what I'm saying. It gives you time to look at how you've done things before, but it also takes you back to the episodes that we've looked into. You know, we've looked at the essence of the child. We have looked at the moments where you need something different, different approaches in your parenting. So there are several videos, there are many videos that are out there that you can look at as you continue to join, to grapple with us, to discuss with us, to engage us, to comment on us, and to send us questions. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Please check the description box below for more information on the program and how to get hold of us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to get updates on our future uploads.